With the release of the new Pokemon game, I knew it would be only so much time before Palworld decided to rise its ugly head once again. If you haven't watched my video on the original trailer, then I highly recommend giving a look. But here's a quick update. Essentially, it is a Pokemon-like open-world multiplayer crafting game. It's got some incredibly lofty ambitions because it mixes elements of Stardew Valley, survival games, you've got riding and exploration, there's also building, and also farming elements in which you can just go about your day-to-day happy life with your pal friends. Where it takes, however, a massive divergence is the way that you treat your pals versus Pokemon. You can force them into factories and have them create guns for you on an automation line. You can also hunt and capture endangered species, and my personal favourite is that you can equip your pals with a whole host of different weapons, ranging from submachine guns all the way up to M4 carbines. And in true survival fashion, if you find yourself running out of food, fear not, you can hack up your pals and eat them for dinner. Essentially, it all comes down to how much of a bastard you want to be when it comes to playing this game. So there is some new stuff that we haven't seen before in the new trailer. They've teased some of the first multiplayer action. You can see the pals using Bing as mounts. And interestingly, I don't know if you can mount all of your pal friends, but it certainly looks like there's a vast array of them for you to choose from. Additionally, we got to see more M4 action as you fly around with your flying mount in the air. And he also highlights some of the new combo systems in which you can put your pals on your head, give them guns, and use them to kind of dual combo mow down enemies. It also showcases some of the new movement abilities. You can slide down hills, for example, while gunning down any pals in your way, and also showcases some sort of truck running scene where wolves are running after you and you just rope it on in and drag it behind you. It also showcased the new pen system, which looks like you keep your pals in stasis. Whether or not this is part of the new labor system or just a way to show off all the pals that you've collected. To capture pals, use a Pokeball-like system, but the actual criteria for getting them to capture is yet still unclear. The farming system looks pretty interesting. Based on the element type of your pal, you get to use them for different abilities. For example, water types can water the garden, and if they're an electric type, you can use them to generate power. I'm not sure if there are weapons of mass destruction in this game, but it wouldn't surprise me because you can see them building a massive V2 rocket in one of the small clips. But aside that, one of the more cooler things I still really liked from the first trailer was the evolution system. So you can merge two types together, for example an electric and a water one in the demo, and the resulting pal is a combination between the two of them. Visually, I gotta say the game does look very impressive, showcasing the big old cities while riding in on what looks like to be a giant pal-sized whale. The combat is still nuts. There's a giant yellow pal that has a huge minigun you can ride the back of while mowing down the enemies, and I'm not sure how evil you can be. I'm sure it's one of the bad guys, but it looks like you can mount one of your pals to a table and do various experiments on them. Aside guns, you can also use your pals as weapons, and the only one that I know so far is some sort of bird-like creature, and when you squeeze its arse, it launches out a grenade that then explodes on the enemy. And that pretty much covers all the new stuff that we know about Palworld. The last thing I probably want to touch on is there are some clips showcasing the pals fighting each other in arena. It is a scripted scene, so I don't know if it's part of the story or it is like a multiplayer element, or you can, do it as part of something else. We will just have to wait to see when it comes on out. Now, in terms of extra details that I think you should probably know about, it is coming out in 2022. We don't have a fixed date just yet. And from my understanding, I don't believe it is coming out in early access either. What is slightly worrying though is this is being developed by Pocket Pair, and if you are familiar with them as a company, then you'll know that they have a long history of creating games, starting them up, and then not doing any more work on them. And they've done this for 2 titles, and I wouldn't be surprised if this happens with this one. But fingers crossed, we'll see how it goes. And as I say, I'll give you more updates when I know them. But until then, stay healthy, stay well, please get your COVID vaccinations, and I'll be back with more news and reviews soon.